But first, let's begin here. Developing this morning, growing frustration and a demand for answers on those mystery drones over the East Coast. Well, New York Governor Kathy Hochul says state-of-the-art drone radar technology is now headed to her state as thousands of these sightings leave the public scratching their heads, worried about what in the world is up in the sky. News Nation's Tom Dempsey has the latest from Washington this morning. Tom, people living under the flight path of these drones aren't the only ones frustrated or concerned here. How are lawmakers trying to combat them?
Hey, good morning, Mark. Yeah, look, concerns seem to be growing about all of this due to the lack of clear answers from the federal government and whether or not federal authorities are doing enough to stop these drones. We saw even more sightings over the weekend, but Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas recently commented about all this, promising a thorough investigation, and he's also confirmed no evidence of foreign involvement. Also, New York Governor Kathy Hochul has announced federal authorities are deploying advanced drone detection systems in the state. And on Sunday, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer urged Homeland Security to deploy specialized technology called the Robin, capable of identifying and tracking drones back to their landing locations.
Why do we have more questions than answers? Some of the drones are small. Some of the drones' flight patterns are erratic. Multiple drones flying together can confuse a traditional radar system. And that's why, again, this new technology can really get us the answers that we need.
Adam says after spending a couple of days looking at videos, he can now confidentially say the New Jersey drones are just airplanes. The drones expert said there was nothing to be worried about because the FBI told him everything was okay. Joe Rogan now believes what is going on. After watching this clip, he retweeted this on X. According to what he wrote, this is the first video about this drone that has got me genuinely concerned. The CEO of drone manufacturing company that has government contract give interesting take on what is going on in New Jersey. Not only in New Jersey, it is now spreading everywhere.
Now with former Congressman Adam Kinzinger. Good to see you, Congressman. So, what do you make of how federal agencies have thus far responded to these sightings so far? Secretary Mayorkas saying, we're looking at them. They pose no national threat at this time. Is enough being said or done to reassure people?
I mean, look, if people don't want to be reassured, then the answer is no. And, look, what I'm hearing from Homeland and what I'm hearing from FBI is we don't see a threat here. And look, honestly, every video I've seen, and I've spent the last couple of days looking at every one of these videos, every video I have seen on Twitter or on the internet are all airplanes. They're literally all airplanes. Some of them will show an airplane that's kind of stable out there and says that's a drone. And actually, it's an airplane flying towards you at 30,000 feet. And I can see the lighting on it. And if there are drones out there, by the way, and if any of these pictures that they have shown are actual drones, these drones then are complying with FAA lighting requirements, a green on the right, a red on the left with a strobe. And so it's not a run. It's not aliens if there are drones. My guess is if there are drones, again, because again, all I've seen are airplanes, then it is more than likely some company that's out testing drones or something like that and has no requirement to tell the public that they're doing it because they're actually operating these things legally. There have been no accusations of illegal operations. By the way, as a pilot myself, I can fly over a military base whenever I want. Those restrictions don't exist. So I think there's a lot of mass hysteria, and I've heard stories of people pointing lasers at these quote-unquote drones, and then the drones' lights go off. Actually, let's be clear. I've been lased as a pilot before. You're supposed to turn off all your lights once you get lased so that they can't find you because it can actually damage your eye.
Yes. When this started a few days ago, what I saw, a lot of people came out with different theories. Some said Iran is struggling to do this, that the White House came and debunked that there is nothing like foreign in. And now, looking at this CEO, what he's saying here, it is concerning. If you see Joe Rogan actually going deep, he said he has watched a lot of videos about this drone thing, but this clip caught his attention, and now he want to really look deep into what is happening. He mentioned something because the video is too long about when United States warhead in Ukraine got missing, things like that. Um, that man came struggle so they can do investigation into that. Till they don't know where it is. So if he is saying something like it can be dangerous, it can be dangerous, you know, it is concerning for people to really look deep into this. Though I have seen the Biden administration sending, I don't know what it's Air Force in New York so they can look deep into what is happening.
An alarming drone incident that forced one of the U.S.'s most critical Air Force bases to close its airspace for several hours. This happened at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base over the weekend in Ohio. And just in, new air traffic control audio obtained by military news website The War Zone of the moment it happened.
Med Flight 8 Patterson Tower, use extreme caution for heavy UAS movement on the base. Security forces is handling the situation, and I gotta keep the lights down so that security forces can see.
Ohio, now the latest of several states to report drone concerns as scrutiny over the federal response is building. This morning, lawmakers are demanding government officials do more and explain more after weeks of suspicious sightings.
I've had briefings, as I've said, that makes me feel confident based on those briefings that there's not an imminent threat to public safety. But it doesn't answer the question, where are all these drones coming from that people are seeing? And why aren't we doing a better job of tracking them and understanding that? It can't be the Wild West of drones out there in Jersey or anywhere else. We got to get to the bottom of this, and people deserve answers.
And ahead, we'll speak to more lawmakers who are concerned. CNN Sunlen Sarfati is in Washington. Sunlen, what more is the administration planning to do? There are a lot of concerns that have turned to frustration and anger, frankly.
That's absolutely right, Sarah. Concern is growing and pressure certainly is increasing on the administration to be more transparent and clear in how they're handling this and distribute the information that they know. This incident at the Air Force Base over the weekend at Wright-Patterson, right outside Dayton, Ohio, really increasing the alarm. The fact that that airspace was closed for 4 hours. This is, as you noted, a very critical airspace.
Why the state governor says there is no threat to public safety, other state officials and local mayors are alarmed. I'm legitimately concerned for what the hell is going on because nobody knows. State Assemblyman Brian told CNN, we saw Mayorkas coming out to say there is nothing, like people should not be afraid. People are now questioning him, like, you lied throughout the year about the border. The border was not open. How can we believe you now? That is what I've seen on social media. It is important.
After we made contact with that officer, that there were 50 that came off the ocean. 50? 50. That was my reaction also.
The mystery widens. Today, people in the New York metro area are reporting a growing number of drone sightings in their communities following a wave of mysterious drone appearances in the skies over New Jersey. This is sparking significant concern among residents and local and state leaders. The White House and the FBI says there is no evidence that the drones pose a national security threat or have a foreign connection.
State of New Jersey. This started on 11/18, which I remember because that's my birthday.
Go!
So what's going on?
From offshore.
The best information that we have available to us to this point suggests that these drones are coming from offshore, that when we try to make contact with them, they become evasive and elusive. From my perspective, if they are American assets, if they're American military, if they're American drones, and I think we owe the American people answers or explanations, but if they're not American made, if they're not American drones.
Thank you guys for always being there, sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. For the short clip, please don't mind. You will see some short clips behind my videos. I can't explain reasons here. If you understand the algorithm, how it works, You might be able to attribute why I do that frequently.
You know, I've been thinking, we know next year is going to be challenging. We're about to endure a lot of gaslighting, greed, lying, ignorance.
I had a conversation with the Deputy Secretary of Defense.
Multiple times.
Just, went like, how dare you? Do you even know what an audit is? And I'm like,
women and so many men are
theory that a lot of people seem to be coalescing around.
They were too woke, insisting that people use the term Latinx.
You have to say they. No, you have to do this.
Stop with the virtue signaling.
Step away from woke. Focus less on who is woke and more on who is broke.
I've never seen that.
I saw so many liberals getting super excited every time Kamala had a new celebrity endorsement. But we all know for a fact that these celebrity endorsements are not free.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement for Kamala?
Not true.
Now it's time to unite everybody.
I want you to know what would change after doing this.
Comes out against Trump.
I don't care if they write that.
So, with that, I'm going to shake it off.
Figure out a way to say thank you.
That guy's name, he's such an absolute prick. I can't stand him. But anyway.
Hey there. Not doing great.
terrible night last night. It was a terrible night.
What will the rest of us be doing on day one?
Bishop Vigano, he says that
the election blood must